Say it with me now. Texas is back. After coming off of a year where the Texas Longhorns not only won the Big 12 championship, but made it all the way to the college football playoffs, Texas looks to be establishing themselves again as the top college football program in the country. And with the Longhorns bringing back their superstar quarterback Quinn Ewers, as well as landing some of the biggest transfer portal targets, including guys like 4-star transfer wide receiver Matthew Golden, 4-star transfer safety Andrew Makuba, 4-star transfer edge rusher Trey Moore, and 5-star wide receiver from Alabama Isaiah Bond. Yeah, Texas is making a run for that championship next season. And then to make things even better, they landed the 5th best high school recruiting class in the country. Now, because Quinn Ewers is coming back to Texas, as well as you kept Arch Manning away from that transfer portal, I want to take a look at all of the offensive pickups that the Longhorns brought in the class of 2024, because those are going to be the guys that are really going to make Texas exciting, especially going to the SEC. Those are more high-powered defenses. You're going to need an offense to combat that. Now, I want to keep this video interesting, so we're not going to be looking at offensive lineman highlights, but I still want to give a shout out to all the offensive line recruits that the Longhorns brought in the class of 2024. So I want to give a shout out to guys like 3-star interior offensive lineman Nate Kibble, who is 6'2.5" to 315 pounds. They also brought in 3-star interior offensive lineman Daniel Cruz, who is 6'3.5", 295 pounds. And then they also brought in 4-star offensive tackle standing at 6'5", 285 pounds, Brandon Baker. So let's jump straight into it and take a look at the Texas Longhorns top offensive pickups that they brought in the class of 2024. Leave this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and then after you've watched all these players' highlight tapes, comment your thoughts down below on who you guys are most excited about seeing in that burnt orange in this upcoming spring game. Want to hear from you guys? Comment your thoughts down below. Now, let's jump straight into the video. 3, 2, 1. Starting it off, I know we're starting it off at a low quote-unquote star ranking. This is 3-star wide receiver Parker Livingstone, who is 6'3" and 185 pounds. I think that this might be one of your best wide receiver pickups in the entire class. This kid is so underrated. I've covered this kid a couple times, or I've just watched his highlight tapes. He is such a polished wide receiver. He knows that he has to run this fade, and this corner has like a 2-yard, this is such a hard route to run whenever you have a corner who is shading 2 yards to the inside. So what does he do? Absolutely attacks this with beautiful precision. Starts it off super hard, slide to the inside, squares him up like he's gonna run a slant, boom, cuts straight back off of that, and then just explodes out of that route. That's a beautiful way to run a fade route on a corner that is shading to the inside. I think that Parker Livingstone, he might be a surprise, and he might end up finding some serious playing time as a true freshman. Sit down, little boy! You better bring your lunch next time. Let's go! Yeah, remember the name Parker Livingstone. Coming down with the one hand, and I'm telling you, this kid is on another level. And you want to hear the crazy thing? You're watching his junior highlights. These aren't even what he's looking like as a senior. This kid is going to be something special for the Longhorns. Next up, the Longhorns landed 3-star running back Christian Clark. Now, he's coming out of Arizona. The last time that you guys got a running back out of Arizona, he turned into Bijan Robinson. Christian Clark, I'm not going to call him the next Bijan Robinson, but he's got some of those characteristics. Great vision. I mean, look at him just cut back against the grain on that play and then just absolutely take off out of the backfield. Christian Clark, he's a 3-star RB. I think he plays a little bit closer to a 4-star recruit. I really like what I see from this kid's game. I just think, oh, sit down. I think he's just a very well-rounded running back. I mean, whether you need him to be a big physical running back on 3rd and short, whether you need him to be able to create an explosive play as more of a scat back, or if you just need him to catch a ball to the backfield, he can really do everything that you're asking for him. I think really where his biggest development's going to come from is just continuing to improve his vision and then hitting that weight room and just getting even more athletic. I think that's really where he's going to turn himself into a star for the Longhorns. Next up, the Longhorns landed 3-star wide receiver Freddy Dau, standing at 6'1" and 170 pounds. Now, these are his sophomore year highlights because he doesn't have anything other than just his sophomore year highlights in his on his huddle page or just really anywhere. But overall, from what I've seen, if this is what he's looking like as a sophomore, you're going to be getting a bigger body, explosive wide receiver that has elite speed and then could really be a high point guy for you in a deep pass situations. That's where I really see Freddy Dau excelling at the next level. Overall, it's kind of hard to project the kid when you're looking at him as a sophomore, but overall, I would say that's what the type of receiver you're going to be getting from what I'm looking at on his highlight tape. I mean, just look at the speed as a sophomore. Like, he can flat out fly out here. Now taking a look at some 4-star recruits, the Longhorns landed 4-star tight end Parker Washington. He is 6'4". Oh my gosh, look at this. My man stopped on a dime. 6'4", 225 pounds, being able to stop and start like that. Hey, I'm telling you, the players I love to watch the most in high school are tight ends, because I just think that there's such mismatches at the high school level. 6'4", 225 pounds. Like, you're talking about normally a defensive end at that size in high school, just running around as a wide receiver pretty much. Like, he is going to be something special for the Longhorns. I really love watching tight ends and projecting where they're going to be, because I just think that there's such mismatches. If they can, the number one area where I see tight ends start to fall off at the college level is they stop learning how to run routes, because I gotta learn how to block, or I just think I can just out athlete everybody. You can't do that. You need to learn how to run routes as well. That's what makes all of the top tight ends at the NFL level so great, is they know how to run routes. I think if Parker Washington, if he continues to develop in his route running, he's gonna really turn himself into something special, and possibly a 2nd or 3rd round tight end prospect. Coming down with that. Now, obviously, you guys have Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning there, but you can always get another top-tier quarterback, and so this is 4-star QB Trey Owens. He is huge. He is 6'5", 240 pounds. He is like beyond your prototypical quarterback size. I think that with just having that big of a frame, you definitely have a quarterback with a strong arm. You definitely have a quarterback that can take any hit in the SEC level. It's really just going to be how well does he continue to develop his game, because I like a lot of these quarterbacks, but once you start getting a little bit past the top 10 quarterbacks, you're really starting to look at more of project guys that they can continue to develop, but really it's going to be how much time is he willing to put into get his throwing motion down, consistently be able to make those throws. I think that especially at Texas, we've seen how they've developed their quarterbacks. Trey Owens just needs to get in that playbook, understand how to break down defenses, and then his physicality and all of his physical attributes are going to turn him into a great quarterback. It's just going to be, I just want to see a little bit more of his development, because I think right now he's a very raw quarterback prospect with just a cannon for an arm. If he continues to refine his game, he could turn himself into a starting QB for Texas, probably come his junior year. Now we're going to talk about one of the most polarizing recruits in the class of 2024. There was a period of time where this was the most talked about recruit in the class of 2024. This is 4-star wide receiver Aaron Butler. He is 6 foot, 175 pounds, and he could flat out make plays. Now, he was looking at Oregon, he was committed to Colorado for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he made the move to go to Texas. Texas came out of nowhere and swooped him up. He is definitely one of the most interesting and explosive recruits in the class of 2024. I would equate him to like a Jonte Cook as far as play style goes. Very, very athletic, slimmer framed wide receiver. I think Jonte is a more complete receiver as far as route running goes, but this kid, he can make some plays too. Like, Aaron Butler is going to be a guy that when you get him in the open field, I mean, you see he is gone. I'm really excited to see what he's looking like in the spring games. Like, this is a guy that I could see being a home run hitter, making a big score for the Longhorns in their spring game. Thank you. Next up, the Longhorns landed the 3rd best RB in the country in 5'10", 200 pound. Oh, get off of me. 4-star running back Jerck Gibson. This kid is coming out of IMG Academy, so you know he's going up against D1 competition week in and week out. This dude has been making plays since he's been a sophomore. I'm excited to see what the Longhorns can turn him into. This is going to be your all-purpose, all-down back. Pairing him up with Christian Clark, I think you're going to have a nasty 2-person backfield combo with these two. I think that Jerck Gibson is just giving you more of what Christian Clark has given you. Christian Clark is a great athlete, but Jerck Gibson's on another level. Like, his speed and his vision are just elite, and then he can stop on a dime. Jerck Gibson should be getting all my Longhorn fans very excited to see what he turns out into in that RB room. Get gone. And last but certainly not least, the only 5-star pickup that you guys brought in on the offensive side of the ball, but this kid is special. This is 5-star wide receiver Ryan Wingo. He is 6'1.5", 210 pounds. This is a big body wide receiver. He is a 5-star recruit. He's the 7th best wide receiver in the class. This guy, he should be getting all my Longhorn fans very, very excited. Pairing him up with Isaiah Bond and Jonte Cook, I can see him getting some serious playing time as a freshman. Like his play style and his physicality are going to make it very easy for him to see playing time as a true freshman. It's just going to be how well he can get that playbook underneath his belt and just how well he's able to acclimate to the speed of college football. But Ryan Wingo is something special. Like this dude, I mean, you're talking about a 210 pounds as a wide receiver, especially at a 6. Normally, if you're going to see a guy who's 210 pounds, he's going to be like 6'3", maybe 6'4", 6'1.5". That's a stocky wide receiver. Like this is going to be a guy that you could run, and you could run some jet sweeps. You could even put him in the backfield and use him a little bit like Deebo Samuel. I'm excited to see how the Longhorns use my guy Ryan Wingo. Get going. Look at the acceleration at the top end. So that is what the Texas Longhorns top offensive pickups in the class of 2024 are looking like. I want you guys to comment down below, out of all the players that we just covered, who are you guys most excited about seeing develop at Texas? For me, looking at everything, I really am going to go with Jordan Washington. I keep on saying I have a soft spot for tight ends. I really think that they have I think that he can really develop into something special for the Longhorns. 6'4", 225 pounds, being able to block and go and run up the seam and get easy touchdowns, like red zone mismatch against any linebacker or safety. I think that if he develops and they build some plays around him, he could turn himself into something special for Texas. But I want to hear from y'all. Comment your thoughts down below. Leave this video a like and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. I want you guys to be having a little chat back and forth on just Texas football and this recruiting class overall in the comment section. I love and appreciate all y'all. If nobody has told you this today, I love and appreciate each and every single last one of y'all, and you do matter in this world. If you're ever going through anything, if you're ever feeling lost, or if you ever, you don't really know where you're going to be going in life, know that you can always call upon Jesus Christ. He's right there. He knows everything that you're going through. He knows everything that's going on in your mind. Never feel like you don't have anybody that you can talk to, because you can always call upon Jesus Christ. Love and appreciate all y'all, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.